Hello all and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial I am going to show you how to make this beautiful halter dress, and I'll be using a Seagull yarn, which is 100% acrylic for ply, and it's the color I'm using is magenta, and I'll be using 2 strands of this color. And I'll start off by making a slip knot. When I make a slip knot, I make a slip knot with my fingers. Yeah, and I'll be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. And to begin, I'm going to begin by making a foundational single crochet stitches, and this chain is going to be coming from the base of my breast to my nipple. So to make these foundation crochet stitches, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to go back into the very first stitch that I made. Go back into the very first stitch that I made. I'm going to pull up a loop, then I am going to yarn over and pull through the first loop on the hook, then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all the hoops on the hook. Then I'm going to go back into you turn the chain slightly like this, and then you'll be able to see these 2 loops. Yes, you go into these 2 loops like this. You're going to pull up a loop, you're going to chain, you're going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook, and then you do that again. Go into those loops, pull up a loop, then you're going to yarn over, pull through the first loop on the hook, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. And basically this is what we're going to do until we have a chain that covers from the base of our breast to our nipple. I am a size 32 and I'll be making this for myself. Yes, so let me achieve that length and I'll come back and meet you right. Yeah, so I've made this chain, and it measures up to 2.4. Yeah, now we are going to chain 1. We are going to turn our work, and we're going to work single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. The first one is a chain 1, and we're going to work single crochet stitches across all the way down, and work a single crochet in each and every stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Yeah, so we made it to the end of the row, and we inserted our last single crochet into that. We're going to chain 1, turn the work, and we're going to insert a single crochet across, and we are going to do this is going to be the pattern where we work single crochets across up to the end of the row, chain 1, turn the work, and work again a rows of single crochets. And we shall be doing this for the measurement that will cover from the side of our breast to our nipples. Yeah, and so right now we are making a foundation piece that will cover from the side of our breasts to our nipples. And as we work, we will continue to crochet single crochet stitches, and our goal is to create a piece that will comfortably cover from the side of our breasts to the nipple area. So I've finished making the length that covers from the side of my boobs up to my nipples, and for reference it measures up to 4 inches. So after achieving that length that covers from the side of our boobs to our nipple, we are now going to start working on the rest of the body that will cover the rest of the boobs. And to do that, we shall in this very last stitch we shall insert 2 more double crochet stitches in the very last stitch. So we have we'll have 3 double crochet stitches in that very last stitch, so that we can have like that nice pointed shape. Yeah, so we're going to continue inserting 1 single crochet stitch in each and every stitch on the side here. There is no single stitch to go into, but just make sure the stitches are evenly spaced out. But basically I'm just inserting in each opening that I see. So I'm going to crochet all the way up to this edge, then I'll meet you right there. Yeah, so I'm at the end here, and I'll insert my last single crochet here before that loose strand. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to insert 1 single crochet stitch in each and every stitch, all from here all the way to this point. Then I'll chain 1 and make more single crochet rows. back and forth until we have enough width that covers the rest of our boobs. So continue working those single crochet stitches, and I'll meet you right back when we've achieved the width that covers the entirety of our boob, of our breasts. Yeah, so see you back when I've achieved that. So I'm back after achieving the width that covers my whole breast, and please note this is going to be on the side of the breasts. It's up to 5 inches, and this will be like on the bottom of the breast. This is where we shall work to make the body of the dress, and this is also 7 inches. And so now we are going to be working on this part of the body. We're going to work on this part of the body making single crochets, and also on this part of the body making single crochets. And I'm going to show you what to do now. Now we are going to chain 1, and we're going to insert our single crochet stitches in on this side of the body. This is going to be at the bottom of the breast, and it's where we will work when we're working towards the bottom, like the body of the dress. Yeah, so just insert crochet stitches in each and every opening that you see. There's no specific stitch to go into, but just make sure they're evenly spaced. Yeah, so do that up to when you get to this point, and I'll meet you there. Yeah, so we made it to the end of this edge, and we are going to insert 2 single crochet stitches into this edge, and then we are going to continue working single crochet stitches across this side as well. This is going to be the side of the breasts up to here. So continue inserting 1 single crochet stitch in each of these stitches. Then I'll meet you here at the edge. So we've made it to the end of this side, and what we are going to do now, we are just going to slip stitch into the very first slip stitch on this that we started on this side. Yeah, then we are going to chain 1 and cut our yarn. Yeah, here you can just also pull through this loose end in case you have it, and you can also cut it at this point. Yes, yeah, and that's it. So we're going to go into the next step, and I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so we are going to start working on the body of the dress, and to do that we'll be working on the bottom part of the bra cup. This is the upper part of the bra cup, and this is the bottom part of the bra cup. Yeah, and to do that, we are now going to attach our yarn here on the here. We're going to attach our yarn. Yes, then we are going to pull up a loop. We are going to turn our work, and we are going to insert a slip stitch here in this very first stitch. Yes, then we are going to chain 2, and we are going to insert a double crochet into that very stitch where that's the very first, into that very stitch that has the chain 2. Then we are going to continue inserting double crochet stitches across up to when we get to this point. So to make a double crochet stitch, in case you don't know, you yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all the loops on the hook. So you're going to do double crochet stitches all across the edge of this this body up to when we get here, the bottom of the bra cup. So I'll meet you here. So we've inserted our very last stitch, a very last double crochet into the very last stitch here. Now by this point you should have your second bra cup ready, because now we are going to attach these 2 bra cups together. Yeah, and to attach them, we are also going to be attaching this pointed part of the bra cup to the other pointed part of the bra cup, so that we have both our sides aligning well together, because now we're working on the bottom of the bra cup that's going to be going down to the body of the dress, and these 2 points should be together. Remember, this is the upper part So this also should be the upper part, and you should be joining to this. You should be joining at this point. Then you're going to work double crochets across the edge of this bra cup as well. So to join the parts together, we are going to chain one, and then we are going to get this part of the bra cup, and we're going to go into the very first stitch here, this very first stitch, and we are going to pull through with a slip stitch. And now our bra cups are both joined together. Now we are going to chain two, and we're going to insert a double crochet stitch into that very stitch that has the chain two. Then we are also going to insert a double crochet stitch into the next stitch, and we're going to carry on by inserting double crochet stitches across up to when we get to this point. So insert a double crochet stitch up to when you get to this point, then I'll meet you back. Yeah, so we've made it to the end of this side as well, and we inserted one last double crochet stitch into the very last corner stitch here. Then we are going to chain two, and we are going to turn our work. Yeah, after turning our work, we're going to insert our double crochet stitches into the very into each and every stitch, starting with the very stitch. So we are going to insert one double crochet stitch in each and every stitch, and we're going to work our way across all the way to the other side of the bra cup from this part. And remember, we shall put one double crochet stitch here where we made the chain one. Then we are going to work all our double crochet stitches all the way across to this other end of the bra cup, and I'll meet you there. So work those double crochet stitches offline, and remember, on this chain we'll do a double crochet into this very stitch, then I'll meet you there. Yeah, so we are coming to the middle point here where we made the chain one in order to connect the points together. So we are going to insert one. There's a stitch here that I would like us to go into, because if we don't go into it, there will be like a gap in the middle there, and I don't like that. Yeah, so we are going to make one double crochet stitch there. Then we are also going to make one double crochet stitch in the middle there where we made the chain one. Yes, then we're also going to make one double crochet stitch here. Then we are going to carry on with our double crochet stitches across up to the end of this side of the bra cup as well. Yeah, so you can see, yes, it's starting to balance together. So let's do those double crochet stitches up to this point, and I'll meet you there. And this is our progress so far, and right now we are going to start making increases, and let me show you what to do now. Yeah, so we've made it to the end of our work here, and yeah, we placed our very last stitch into the very last double crochet stitch at this side. So we are going to chain two, and we are going to turn our work. Yeah, so after turning our work, we're going to insert two double crochet stitches in the very first stitch. And the reason why we are inserting two double crochet stitches, because we would like to make increases for the part that's going to cover our back side slightly. We'll be covering our back side. So we insert two double crochet stitches in the very first stitch. Then we are going to continue inserting one double crochet stitch in each and every stitch across all the way up to the other side of the bra cup, and then we'll also make another increase there. So let's make our way back up to the side of this bra cup, and then I'll meet you there. Yeah, so we made it back to this end of the work, and we're also going to make an increase on this side as well, and we're going to insert two double crochet stitches in that very stitch. As you can see, I had already made one double crochet stitch inside, then I inserted another double crochet stitch to the very same stitch, making an increase so that both sides are now have increases. We're going to chain two, turn our work, and we're going to have no increase on this side of the work, so we shall just insert one double crochet stitch in each and every stitch all the way across to the other side, and making a double crochet stitch in each and every stitch up to when we get to this point. Then chain two, and then we shall make an increase on the next row. So I'll do that off camera, and then I'll meet you right back. So we've made it to the end of our non-increase round, and we're going to place one very last double crochet stitch into that very last stitch. And remember, we don't go into that chain 2 because it does not count as a stitch. So we are going to chain 2, turn our work, and now we are going to do another increase, because now we are back at the increase. Now we are on the increase side of the work, and we are going to insert 2 double crochet stitches in that very first stitch. So we inserted our first double crochet stitch, and then we're going to insert our second double crochet stitch, and we are going to insert our single double crochet stitch in each of the next stitches all the way across up to when we get to the end of the other side of the work. And then we shall make another increase like we did on the previous row, where we shall insert 2 double crochet stitches in the very last stitch before chaining 2 and turning our work, and then going into a non-decrease round. So basically that's going to be the pattern. We shall have a round of increase where we increase 2 double crochet stitches in the very first stitch and the very last stitch. Then we shall chain to turn the work, and then we'll have a round of non-increase where we insert 1 double crochet stitch in each and every stitch. Yes, and we'll keep alternating between those rows until we get to the point when you try and put the body of the work onto your body. It covers, and the 2 points, these two edges meet at the back. When you try them on, they meet at the back of your the 2 points meet at the back of our body. And basically at this point should ideally be the same measurement as your waist. Yeah, because if those points are meeting, that means you have the correct measurement for your waist. Then we shall come back and join those 2 points so that we close up the gap and join the dress together as one piece. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So keep working those non-increase and non-increase rounds, alternating between 1 row of increases and 1 row of non-increase, until the 2 points, these 2 points on different sides, when you try them on your body, they meet at the back of your body. Then I'll meet you there. So this is how the project looks like so far, and you should make sure that when you put it on your body, these 2 points at the back are touching, and then that's when you know you have the correct measurement, and it should be equivalent to the measurement of your waist ideally. Yes. So this waist measurement right now measures up to 13.5 inches when not stretched, and when stretched it can go up to 15 inches. And I would like to make for a waist of 30 inches. Yes. And the length for the total top is up to 14 inches. And now we're going to start working on the bottom part of the dress, and we are going to join these 2 points together. These 2 points, you're going to join them together, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Then we start working on the bottom part of the dress to accommodate the hip and the hip section. Okay, so to join the ends together, I'm going to join them from the top, and I'm going to find the very first double crochet stitch we had on this side. I'm going to pull this yarn through it. Yeah. And then these 2 points are attached. Yeah, these 2 points are attached, and then we are going to turn our work. Yeah, so after joining these 2 ends together like this, you're going to turn our work around like this. Yeah, so that the 2 joined ends are like this. Yeah, like this. Yeah, so after turning the work, you're going to chain 2. Then we are going to insert our double crochet stitch into that very stitch, and we're going to insert our double crochet stitches in each of the next stitches until we get to the side of the work. Yes, but basically let's just mark off the points. Let's just mark off the sides. Yeah. So yeah, before we've made a few double crochet stitches here. So we are going to mark off the sides. We're going to mark off the sides of the dress, because we shall be making increases at these points. And yeah, I think it will be more clearer like this. So we are going to make sure that this part is in the middle, is aligned properly like this. Then we are going to mark off the size of the dress. We're going to mark off the size of the dress with stitch markers like this. Then also mark off the other side, because this is where we're going to make the increases. This is where the increases will happen. Yeah, so we're going to proceed with working our half double crochet stitches all across until we get to this point, and then we shall do an increase there. So let's work those half double crochet stitches, and then I'll meet you at this point we've marked off with a stitch marker on the side of the dress to make our first increase. Yeah, so we are going to keep working double crochet stitches in each and every stitch up when we get to this point where we shall make an increase. So I'll meet you at the point where we put the stitch marker for our first increase. So we made it to the point where we placed our stitch marker. So we are going to remove the stitch marker, and in that point where the stitch marker was, we are going to insert 2 double crochet stitches, and this is the first double crochet stitch, and then this is the second double crochet stitch. And then we are going to place our stitch marker back at that point. So I'll place the stitch marker back so we know where to increase in the next round. And we are going to insert double crochet stitches in the following stitches until we get to the other stitch marker, and I'll show you one more last time on how to do the increases. So I'm going to go off camera and make my way back and make my way to the other side where the stitch marker is, and then we shall do another increase. So we've made it back to this, we've made it to this point where the other stitch marker is, and we're going to remove the stitch marker, and in that point where the stitch marker was, we are going to insert 2 double crochet stitches there. Yeah, so we are going to make our first double crochet stitch. Then we are going to insert our second double crochet stitch in here. Then we are going to place the stitch marker back up in this at this point. Then we are going to continue working double crochet stitches up to when we get back to this point, the starting point, and I'll meet you there. So make double crochet stitches across all the way up to this point, and I'll meet you back. Yeah, so we made it back to this part where we joined the 2 points together, and we are going to insert 1 last double crochet stitch into that very the slip stitch that we made to join those 2 ends together. And now what you're going to do, we are going to slip stitch into the very first half double crochet stitch on this side, and we are not going to go into the chain 2. We are going to slip stitch in the first half double crochet stitch on this side. Yes, then we're going to chain up 2. Then we are going to turn our work. And we're going to work double crochet stitches in each and every stitch, including the very first, including the very stitch where the chain 2 is. Yeah, we're going to work a double crochet, and we are going to go around without making any increases for this round. Then we shall come back at this point, join the rounds together like I've showed you, and then on the following round, that's when we'll do increases. So basically that's going to be the pattern. We'll do 1 row of increase, then 1 row of non-increase until we have our hip width. Then we shall stop the increases. So work those rows. I'm going to work those rows of camera until when I have my hip width, the rows of increase and non-increase rows until I have my hip width, and I'll meet you right back. Yeah, I've been crocheting for a while, and I've achieved my hip circumference that I would like. When it's when I measure this, when it's slightly stretched, it's up to 18 inches on the front panel, and on the back panel, sorry. And when you add 18 inches to the front panel as well, 18 inches, that will equal to 37 inches, and my hip size is 37 inches. So for now, I'm going to stop with the increases, and I'm just going to continue working rounds and rounds of double crochet stitches in each and every stitch until I get to the length that's just in my mid thigh length. Yeah, and as we're working these double crochet rounds, when you get to the stitch marker, simply remove the stitch marker, put a double crochet stitch in that place of the stitch marker, and then replace the stitch marker back in that spot. As when we achieve the mid thigh length that we want, we'll start doing decreases as well, because we would like to achieve like a fitting and a pencil like kind of fitting. Yeah, we don't want it to be like all flared out. We want it to be like slim, fitting on our body all the way down. Yeah, so continue working these double crochet stitches all around until you achieve the mid thigh length, and then we'll come back there and we do that decreases. And why we replace back the stitch markers is because we shall be making the decreases on the sides of the dress as well, just like we've been making the increases. So continue working those rounds until you achieve mid thigh length, and I'll meet you right back. This is how the dress looks like, for reference for now, where the bottom part you are working on. Yeah, so after a few rounds of crocheting, I noticed that actually my seam line is not very straight. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to join this round one more time. Yeah, like this, and then from now on I'm not going to chain two or turn the work. I'm just going to start making double crochet stitches. I'm going to make a double crochet stitch into this next stitch after the slip stitch, and from now onwards I'll be making the rounds in one single round. I'm not going to be slip stitching and chaining two and turning the work. No, not what I've done now. I'm just going to be making the work round and round and round and round. Yes, until we get to the length in the middle of our thighs. Yeah, the length in the middle of our thighs. So for now, we'll just keep crocheting round and round and round until you get to the length in the middle of the thighs. Actually, I'm going to meet you one last time at this point, and I'll show you how to join the round so it's in one complete round circle. Yeah, we are back at this point where I join the seam together. So we are just going to insert a double crochet here in that stitch, then also a double crochet here in this stitch, then a double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're just going to continue working round and round and round and round until we achieve the mid length. So after a few rows of regular rounds where I didn't do any increase or decrease, I've achieved the length that I wanted, and for me that length was 25 inches, which is around my mid thigh length. And right now we are ready to start with the decreases. And to do a decrease, when you get to the point of the stitch marker, the same point where we're doing the increases from, you're going to remove the stitch marker, and we're going to do what we call a two double crochet together stitch. And to make a double crochet together stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that stitch where the stitch marker was, pull up a loop, then without doing anything else, you're going to insert the hook into the following stitch as well, pull up a loop, then you're going to yarn over and pull up through the three loops, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all the 2 loops on the hook, and that is what we call a 2 double crochets together stitch. Yeah, so now we're going to continue making single double crochet stitches in each and every stitch until we get to the other point of the stitch marker, and we're going to repeat that 2 double crochet together stitch as well. Yeah, and basically you're going to continue doing those rounds of decreases. One round, you'll be doing one round of decrease, and then one regular round without any decrease. So keep working those rounds until you get to the length whereby you have about 6 inches left to your ankles, and then we're going to do something else. We're going to insert something else there, and then we're going to do like a different stitch for those 6 inches just right before your ankles. So continue doing these rounds. When you get to the stitch markers on the decrease row, you make a 2 double crochet together stitch, And when you're done with that round, you make one more round over a no increase regular round, and then you can keep doing that until you feel like you've achieved the width that you want. After achieving the length that's 6 inches just slightly above our ankles, we are going to now change the stitch, and we're going to make what we call a shell stitch. And also for this stitch, I'll be using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And to start with a shell stitch, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to yarn over, and then we're going to skip this stitch, and then we're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet. Then we insert another double crochet into the very stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to insert another double crochet into the very stitch. Then another double crochet into the very stitch. Then we are going to skip 1 stitch, and we're going to insert 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, and then 2. Yes, and without yarning, and then after this we're going to skip this stitch, and you're going to go into this stitch with 1 double crochet, and then with a second double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, and we are going to insert 1 double crochet into the very stitch, and then another double crochet into that stitch, and that's what we call a shell stitch. Then we are going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to insert 1 double crochet stitch in each of the next 2 stitches, and basically that's going to be the pattern all around, where we shall be making 1 shell stitch, and then where we shall be skipping, then making 1 shell stitch in the double crochet stitch. Then also we skip 1 stitch, and then we insert 2 double crochet stitches in each of the following 2 stitches, and that will be the pattern. So repeat that, and I'll meet you at the end of this round after we've completed that. So we made it back up to we've made a shell stitch, and you can see we have only 2 stitches left. So we're going to skip this stitch. We're going to insert 1 double crochet stitch into that stitch, then another double crochet stitch into that stitch here. Then we are going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet stitch of the round. Then we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to put 1 double crochet stitch into that second double crochet stitch of the previous shell. Then we're going to chain 1. Then we are going to put another shell we're going to put a shell in the shell of the previous row. Yes, then we are going to chain 1, and then we are going to put 1 double crochet stitch in each of the double crochet stitches that we'd made on the previous row. Then we're going to chain 1. Remember, on the previous row we were not chaining 1 after the double crochet stitches, but now we are, so that's how we are going to make the increases. And then we are going to insert a shell in the previous shell of the previous round. Then we are going to insert, you chain 1, and then we're going to insert 1 double crochet stitch in each of the next 2 stitches. Then we are going to chain 1, and we're going to insert a shell in the previous shell, and the shell is 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1, then another 2 double crochet stitches. Basically that's going to be the pattern all around until you've achieved your desired length. Let me come show you how to wind up the row one last time, and then you can continue until you've achieved your desired length. So we are back at the end of the round, and we're going to finish it off by inserting chaining 1, and we are going to insert 1 double crochet stitch in that stitch, then also 1 double crochet stitch, in that stitch. Yeah, after this chain you're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet stitch. Then we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to make a double crochet stitch here, that first double crochet. Chain 2 counts as a stitch. Then we are going to chain 1, and then we are going to make a shell in the shell of the previous stitch. Chain 1 and make a double crochet stitch in the next 2 double crochet stitches, and basically that will be the pattern, and that's how we shall be joining those rounds. Yeah, then you can continue this pattern until you've achieved your desired length for your hem. Yeah, I think I'll call it the hem of the dress. Yeah, and that will be it. So after 10 rows over the shell stitch, I'm going to stop here, and if you want to you can make it longer or shorter. I'm going to do now, in the last double crochet stitch of the previous round, I'm simply going to slip stitch into that shell space. Chain 1, then I'm going to cut my yarn, and that marks the end of the hem of the dress. You can cut the yarn, then you can also proceed to weave in the ends. Yeah, then we're going to work on the back part of the dress, I mean like the ribbon part of the dress. We are going to work on the bow. And now I'm going to work on the bow that will go at the back of the dress, and here I'm going to make a slip knot. Using a 3.5mm crochet hook, I'm going to make a chain that is 50 inches in length. Yes, so go on and make a chain that's 50 inches in length, then I'm going to meet you back. So I've made a chain, and the other chain I made a 210 chains. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to go back on this chain with a single crochet in each and every stitch. So I've made single crochets all around, and but I didn't work a single crochet into the very last stitch. We are going to leave that stitch and work into, then we are going to turn our work without chaining. Yeah, so without chaining, we turn our work, and we're going to put a single crochet stitch into the front loop of the very first stitch. We're going to the front loop, this is the front loop, and we're going to insert a single crochet into that front loop. Then we're going to the next stitch of the front loop, and we're going to do this all across up to when we get to the other side, working into the front loops only, and also leaving the last stitch unworked into. So let's do that. I'll do that off camera, then I'll meet you back at the end. Yeah, so I've made it to the end, and as you can see, I am not going to go into the very last stitch. I'll end at the second last stitch there. Then without chaining, I'll turn my work, and this time we are going to be inserting a single crochet stitch in the back loops only of that very first stitch. Sorry. Yeah, you're going to be inserting a single crochet into the back loops only of that very first stitch, and we shall do this across by inserting a single crochet in each and every stitch in the back loops only. Yeah, and when you get to the end, you leave the last stitch unworked into and turn your work and work a single crochet stitch into the front loops only. So we shall be alternating between working into the front loops and the back loops only until we have 2 inches over this pattern. So I'll continue working those rows, and then I'll meet you right after. I've achieved the 2 inches I wanted. So right now it's time for us to clean up the edges, and to clean up the edges, I am going to chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch along the edge to clean it up. Yeah, make sure that when you're slip stitching, you make the slip stitches loose. Yeah, so the edge doesn't fold. Yeah, so slip stitch all the way across to the top. Yeah, then I'll meet you there. Yeah, so we made it to the top, so we are going to slip stitch into this stitch as well. Then if you want, when you get to this point, you can cut your yarn, go and slip stitch on the other side as well, but I'm not going to cut my yarn because I would like to have a more cleaner edge. So I'll just continue slip stitching across at the top here, all the way, all across until I get to the other end. Then I'll also slip stitch, then I'll meet you back after. I slip stitch all the way up to the other side, up to this other side. So I'm going to just chain one, and I'm going to cut my yarn, yeah, before we can proceed to making a bow. Yeah, and this is how the bow looks like at this point. It's a bit like it's folding a little bit, but don't worry. Yeah, so let me just weave in these loose ends, and then I come back to show you how to make the bow. Yeah, so to proceed with making the bow, we are going to fold the bow. We're going to fold this in half, and make sure that it's the ribbed part that's facing up. And after folding it in half, fold it in half and a second time like this. And just make sure that when you fold it again, you leave at least half an inch, so that when we make the bow, this part is longer than the bow itself. Yeah, so after folding it, like I told you, we are going to mark off these points here with a stitch marker. On both sides, because we are going to have to sew them together. So we're going to get our tapestry needle, and we are going to join those points together. So let's put our yarn in the tapestry needle, pull it, yeah, so let's begin to join these ends together. So we're just going to sew from one point to the other point. So I'll continue to do this off camera, then I'll meet you right back. Yeah, so after sewing this part together straight down, straight in the straight line, we are going now to fold it, bring it like that in the middle. As you can see, the bow is finally coming together. You can see the bow is finally coming together. And when you measure, you should this is 5 and this is also 5. Yeah, so you should have like mark it down in the middle here, mark these points in the middle, and then we are also going to proceed to join this bow in a straight line, but in the middle as well, just like we did the other part. Yeah, as you can see, so that the bow can begin to form and come together like this. Yeah, so again, I'll grab my tapestry needle. I still have it attached, I didn't cut it, and I'm going to start attaching the bow in the middle as well in a straight line, sewing it together in a straight line like we did the other side. Yeah, so I'm going to do that off camera, then I'll meet you right back. So after sewing down the middle part of the bow as well, as you can see, now we're going to get these ends together, and we're going to tie them around the middle part of the bow like this. We tie them tightly so we can form the bow itself. And then after doing this we are going to get more yarn, so we can cover up this part that we've sewed together. If you want, you can leave it like this. You can just cut off the ends and leave it like this, but I would like to cover it up, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, so once we've finished tying the middle part of the bow, we are going to get our yarn, chain up a chain that can wrap around the middle section to cover up the tie that we made in the middle of the bow, to cover up that tie that we made in the middle of the bow, so we have like a more cleaner look when we finally attach the bow to the dress. So you can chain up and see if it fits. Yeah, and this fits around the bow properly. You can start going back on your chain with a single crochet. You skip the first stitch on the hook and you go back in the rest of the stitches across all the way down with a single crochet. So I'm going to get work off camera here, and then I'll meet you back at the end. So I made it to the end of this chain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to chain one, I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to insert single crochets all the way across on this second row as well. And I'm going to do that, and when I get to the end, I'll chain one, turn my work, and then do another row of single crochets. So basically you can do as many rows as you want, depending on how thick you want this cover up to be in the middle of the bow. Yeah, but personally I'll make about 4 rows of these single crochets, and then I'll wrap it around the bow to cover the tie we made in the middle. Yeah, then I'll show you what to do next. So I'm going to proceed to do this off camera, then I'll meet you back when I have the width that I want for this cover up. So having achieved the width that I want, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chain one and then cut the yarn. Yeah, then I'm going to wrap this piece that I made around. You can either wrap it up and just tie it all together, or you can join it with you can get a tapestry needle and join these ends together, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get a tapestry needle and join these ends together. Yeah, make sure that it's properly wrapped like you want it on the other side before you start joining with a tapestry needle. Yeah, so I'll continue to do this off camera, then I'll meet you right back. So I joined the ends together with the tapestry needle, the 2 ends together here, and yeah, this is how the bow looks like now. Now we're going to proceed to attach it to the dress. Yeah, so we're going to get our tapestry needle and we are going to sew the bow onto the dress. Yeah, and basically what I like to do, I just like to fold it like this, and then I'm just going to insert my needle in there. Then I'll also get a corresponding stitch on the dress itself, and then pull the yarn through, and to make sure it's extra secure, I'll go through those points that I went through in the first place as well. Sure it's extra secure, I just go through these points that I went through as well, like this. Then I'll bring this yarn back and pass it through that opening I made in the first place here. Yeah, so just make sure it's attached. Then I keep on attaching. I just make sure I attach at a point whereby it won't be like, it's like the stitching, I mean like the sewing is hidden, eh? Yeah. Yeah, so you can proceed to do this, and there is no particular place to go into while you're sewing in the bow to the dress. Just as long as you feel, you can keep doing this until you feel like your bow is properly and securely attached to the dress, and then you can stop. So I'm going to continue doing this off camera, then I'll meet you right after. Yeah, and also while you're sewing, you can also sew along the perimeter, so it's nice and secure as well, all along this edge as well, so it's nice and secure all throughout. Yeah, so the bow is attached, and that's how it looks like. Yeah. I'm going to start working on the edge of the dress, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert my yarn here at the base of the bra cup, because remember we are not working on the upper part. So here I'm going to insert my slip knot that I made. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to start inserting single crochet stitches across the edge, like I showed, across the edge, this back edge, and up to when we get to the other side. And when we get to the other side, we shall chain one and cut the yarn. So I'll work single crochet stitches all across this edge, then I'll meet you back after working the edge, and then we shall work on the straps of the dress. Now I'm going to start working on the straps of the dress, and for this I'll be using 4 strands of Seagull yarn. I want to use 4 strands because I want the I would like the strap for the dress to be a bit thick. So what I will do, I will insert my yarn in the corner there. Again, I'm working, and the inside of the dress is facing the table. The inside of the dress is facing the table. So I'll insert my yarn there, then I'm going to make a chain of up to 12 inches. Yeah, and that's going to act as the strap of the dress. So let me do this off camera, then I'll meet you when I have a chain of up to 12 inches. What I best off to determine the chain of 12 inches, I tried the dress on, then I measured from where I want the strap to begin and where I want it to end, to be attached just beneath my underarms. Yes, and I want it to be a bit tighter, so make sure that when you measure this chain, it measures up to 12 inches, but when slightly stretched. Yeah, so because I want it to be tight. And I also, why you can either opt to just tie the string around your neck if you prefer, or you can opt to make a very long chain and make the crisscross detail at the back. But I want my dress to be like fully open back. That's why I'm opting for the strap. Yeah, and right now I can see it is up to, it's up to 11 inches. Yes, and since I want that strap to be really tight, I'm going to leave it at that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach it here at the corner here. Yeah, I'm going to chain one, cut the yarn, and that will be it. This is going to be now the strap of the dress, and I'm going to proceed and do that on the other side. And if you notice that the sides of your dress, that V section that goes to the back of your dress, if it's a bit loose, you can proceed to go ahead and do another level of single crochets around that edge to make it a bit tighter, if you're going to opt for an open back as well. But if that's not the case, you can as well just make the strap that I've made, or a strap that goes around your neck if it fits you really well. Yeah, and I'm going to cut the yarn here, and I'm going to proceed to do this exact strap on the other side, and that will and then I'll meet you right back. This is how the front part of the dress looks like, and if you've liked this tutorial, subscribe to my channel. And this is the back part of the dress. Stay safe and see you next time.